Hi guys! Thank you so much for joining me again today. Well, I wanted to make a part 2 of this question and answers video because as I was filming the last one, I got a few questions, and so of course I opened it up to more questions, and I do have a few of them that I want to get through today. You guys asked really great questions in the last video, so thank you for those. And I want to definitely answer every single person. I don't want anyone to be left out. So we're going to start. There's obviously going to be noise because I live in an apartment with, how many are there of us? Like 7 other tenants. So just you hear a lot of doors opening and shutting and people walking down the stairs or opening the gate. That is why. All right, so first question that I'm going to get to, and it starts. Gigi Jolie asked me, what made you become a Christian? It's not something that I just chose randomly. I think that it's something that I've always meant to be, because I was created to be a follower of Christ, because I was created from God. But I was in a really, I'm gonna say I was in a bad place in my life. I just was in a place where I kind of was questioning just everything. I was questioning my career. I was questioning where I was going in life. I didn't have a job at the time. I didn't know where to go or if I should keep doing makeup. And I just started to become more aware of me as a person and realizing a lot of my faults. And so that led me to a life of practicing and just like reading up and believing in like more new age new age movement. So like, you know, the whole like the universe and manifesting things through the universe. Whatever it is that you want it, you can manifest it into your life. And you know, I think that, you know, the Bible, I think in a way that's kind of biblical, because the Bible does say that there's power in our tongue, so we can speak life into our lives or death into our lives. So there's definitely truth there, but when you're using it just to get what you want in your life, then it becomes a little bit more satanic, and it totally twists the power of God and the purpose that you have. So anyway, I got into New Age theory, and then from there it just kind of evolved into me wanting to find more truth. I became a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. I was like on YouTube 24/7. I only slept because I had to sleep. Otherwise, I would still be watching videos during that time on like conspiracies from like 9/11 to like just the way that our government works and just the whole new world order, all that stuff I was like deeply infatuated with. And so my whole world turned upside down, and I think it got to a very desperate point and a fearful point where I thought, okay, my whole world seems to be like disintegrating in front of me, and the truths that I believed seemed to be not so solid anymore. So in that, I feel like then I was able to find God and search for something so much bigger than me that would kind of stabilize me again, that would sort of speak truth into my life and give me hope and faith in something much greater than me. And knowing that even though this world is it can be a very terrible world, and so many bad things happen, and there's a lot of bad people and evil, like pure evil that I don't even think most people know exists. That although there's that there's an even bigger God that can actually work everything that's even like the most terrible situation for our good if we listen to him, if we submit to him. You gotta kind of fall into a hole like that to really realize that you yourself can't make things right, and you yourself can't understand things that are much bigger than you. Or help every single person in this world, or you know, fight every evil in this world. And so in that desperation, in that hopelessness, I was able to then receive Jesus in the hope that he gives to us, and sort of in a way kind of go through like a rebirthing, like a new life in Jesus. And it felt really good, and I knew from the moment that I found out about God and like my relationship with him, and I could feel him and like really see him working in my life, that's when I was just like, this is solid, and I know that he's real. I believe more now than ever that he is who he says he is. Like, God speaks to you. If you want him to speak to you, he will speak to you, and he will guide you, and he will show you, and he will transform you in ways that would blow your mind. And there is nothing more real and stable than my faith in Christ. So yeah, that's why I became a Christian. The next question is by Coco Mabel, and Coco asks, what comforts you in your wait for the man who will be your husband? That's a really good question. I would say that in the years that I have been single with Jesus, and I mean like as in I had chosen to be like completely single, like where I wasn't going on coffee dates, I wasn't texting anybody, I wasn't trying to entertain anything that I knew didn't have a future to it, or wasn't brought together by God or anything like that. And the thing that always comforts me, and it's become more real to me in the past year and a half. So the beautiful thing about God is that he wants to be everything to us. He wants to be every relationship that we want fulfilled. He wants to fulfill that. Every need that we have, every desire that we have, he wants to fulfill that for us. And I remember reading a scripture that completely changed even my mindset as to who God is to me. And so it's in Hosea 2:19. And I might pronounce this word wrong, and I maybe have been pronouncing this word wrong for like a year and a half, so correct me if I'm wrong. But this is the scripture that I read that I thought it just kind of clicked for me. It says, I will betroth or betroth, I'm not sure, but the word betroth means I will marry you, like I'm gonna have a covenant with you. And for those that don't know what a covenant means, it means like a legal binding between two people. Like when they get married, you get legally married, because then you're seen as husband and wife, then you're seen as one household. So I will betroth you to me forever. I will betroth you in righteousness and justice, in love and compassion. I will betroth you in faithfulness, and you will acknowledge the Lord. And so that scripture just sort of was a game changer for me, and I didn't realize how much I needed to hear that, because here's the thing, is that as women, we get so fearful of getting rejected, of missing out on the one, of missing out on someone who will choose to be with us for the rest of our lives. We get very fearful of never having children, of maybe not having a stable home for our children, or finding just a man that will passionately pursue us and just desire us and treat us the way that we deserve to be treated, and honor us and respect us and want to take care of us and protect us. Those are real fears that we as women face, and because of those fears, we tend to settle for less than. We settle for men that cheat on us, for men that, kind of choose us as their backup plan. Sometimes we settle for not having anybody because we don't want to get hurt again. We don't want to feel fear. We don't want to feel rejection for people who have been abused and, physically, emotionally, verbally, sexually abused by men. You have a fear of that happening again, and like we have this fear of just the past repeating itself. And the thing that we have to realize is that even before our husband comes into our lives, even before we're married, that our number one marriage that we have to honor and that we have to just celebrate is the one that we have with God, because he's the one who made vows to us first. These are vows. You know, he's vowing to be with us forever. He's vowing to be with me in righteousness and justice. It means he'll fight for justice on my behalf. He'll clothe me in righteousness, even when I don't feel like I'm good enough, like I'm worthy enough. And also in that, he's vowing to be with us in faithfulness, in love and in compassion. And it's just like, where can you find a person even who will say, like, even when you're not faithful to me, I will always be faithful to you. Even when you can't even show me how much you love me, or maybe you won't even love me at certain times, I will always love you and treat you with compassion. Like that, for me, I mean, maybe I'm such a romantic at heart, but for me, hearing these words, it just was like such a healing moment for me. And I'm so happy that I received it in that moment, that I was able to listen clearly, that I was able to see it clearly, because it was just like, I don't have to wait to be chosen by somebody else, because I've already been chosen, and I will be chosen every single day of my life, because God chooses me in all of the mess that I am and can be. He chooses me every single day, and that's what we want, is we want someone to choose us. And you know, that's the reason why I even wear a ring. This is my ring finger, and I have this little rose gold band, and I put it on my finger because anytime I need to feel validated, anytime I need to feel reminded that I'm never rejected or abandoned, I'm never alone, I've been chosen already, I just look at my finger and it just comforts me. And you know, you do what you want to do to get that reminder and comfort. This is just the way that I like to do it. And you know, there have been women who have laughed at me and been like, I would never wear one on my ring finger, not until I actually get a ring. And it's cool. I mean, it is what it is. Like, everybody does what helps them, and this helps me. Let's see, Stacy_N asks, do you want kids and don't you get worried about age? Ooh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I want kids so much. I love children so much. Oh my gosh, like, I honestly think they're more relatable and easier to get along with than most adults. So yes, I want my own kids. I have a nephew right now, and he's my one and only nephew at the moment, and I love him so much. Like, I feel like he's my child sometimes. I have to remind myself sometimes, like, girl, calm down, he's not your kid. Just seeing him grow up and seeing him learn and seeing him just develop, it's just been such a blessing to me. And honestly, like, it made me more excited to one day have my own children. I don't want a huge soccer team or anything like that. Like, I want maybe 2 to 3 kids, if even 3. And do I get worried about age? I think I do sometimes. I'm 34 now, and I do think sometimes, like, okay, by the time I get married and I have my first child, like, I honestly don't want to have kids right away after getting married. I want to be able to enjoy my time just with my husband for a few years, and I know that will probably put me into probably my late 30s, when I'm ready to have children, but I think I'm okay with that. I don't get worried about it, because I know that, you know, God's timing is just perfect and everything. The age of it, it's just like a number. I don't care. Like, my body is still going to function, and you know, it's not what my body can do at the age that I'm at, or the age that I will be when I have children, or anything like that. Even when they're growing up and I get older, it's what God can do, and what, you know, what he's planned and designed and all that. Like, there's no need to worry about it. You know, we gotta let go of, like, your clock is ticking. You know, that old saying, people just like put pressure on you as a woman, that if you don't do this at that at this certain age, or you're not a mother at this certain age, or you don't have this career at this certain age, like you're not a woman and you're not fulfilling your purpose. And it's like, chill out. First of all, this is my life. Second of all, you need to have peace with you. You need to have peace with where you're at in your life. You need to have peace with whether you have children or you have too many children, whether you have a great job right now or you're still building your career. Nothing is ever too late to do. Nothing, because our God is bigger, our God is greater. He can make things happen like that. Like that. He's the creator of time. Like, he manages time. So why wouldn't he make things turn around in the split of a second, you know? What we try to do in 10, 20 years, God can do in like 10 days. And so I'm good. Like, I'm okay. Danny C. Abrera asked, does it make you feel alone, misunderstood, and without hope of finding a man of the stature of commitment and devotion that you deserve? I kind of answered a little bit of this in the other question, but yeah, it doesn't. Well, I'm not gonna say that I never not feel alone, because sometimes I do feel lonely, even with like friends around and family and all of that. But that's something that I then have to call on God to help fill, because nobody else can do it, you know? Even if I was married with a family and everything, you know, my husband can't fulfill for me what God can only do. And so I know that whatever I'm sowing in my season right now, I'm taking into the season of marriage. I don't want to be half a person when I get married, because then that means I haven't done the work in my season now to get closer to God, to have Jesus be the one and only thing that I thirst for in this world, the only one thing that I need in this world to fulfill every single hole in my heart, to give me the patience when I lack patience, give me the love when I lack love, give me the, you know, the grace when I lack grace. Like, all of that comes from God. And even when you feel lonely, know that not your best friend, not your mother, not your sister, not the man that you're married to, not the man that you're seeing can actually fill that. You need to be content and happy with you being just by yourself with God. And so whenever I feel that, I know that the one thing that I have to run to is the Lord. And it's great because, I mean, I appreciate my relationships. I have amazing relationships in my life, really close people to me that I love so dearly, and I feel so blessed to be in their company every time I'm around them. And I'm grateful, because I know that God brings those relationships into your life for a reason. But I know that they are not the only reason why I feel content. And they're not the only reason why at times, you know, even when I'm alone, I feel okay. I feel like I'm still in good company, because I'm always with God. And I need to acknowledge that. So it's cool, because God will, like, whenever I do feel lonely and I'm like, oh, maybe let's see what this person is up to, or maybe I'll text my best friend, or, you know, whatever. I realize I'm being needy, and I'm like, okay, let's take a step back and let me run to you, and maybe I need to spend some time in your word and prayer and worship. And so I'll do all that to do that, because I want to break unhealthy patterns. I don't feel hopeless at all. God is amazing, and right now he's working so many things in my life that are things that I mean, only he can bring together. So I know that in God's timing, everything works out in its perfect way, and that it's worth the wait, and that it's better than I could ever imagine. Like, I have hope that God is a promise keeper, and I have hope in what he's shown me and what he's revealing to me right now and what he's working out. And I never feel hopeless whenever I I spend time with God, and he reminds me that everything is unfolding. So good question, thank you. Lysandra asks, what does your diet and fitness consist of? You look great. Oh, thank you. What's one makeup and fashion trend you participated in that you look back on and cringe? I touched on it in the last video, which is I work up 5 times a week. I do running for 30 to 40 minutes a day, and then I also do strength training outdoors in the park that I run around. Thankfully, I have like a park that's a few blocks away from me, so I can just walk there, and that's been amazing to have. And there's so much space everywhere that you can just do your workouts and just not have to worry about being too close to anybody. It's been amazing because I think I'm really actually enjoying my workouts outdoors. I'm really soaking up this really beautiful weather that we've been having, and it's been really great because I feel like I don't put too much pressure on myself. My workouts always last like just an hour, and like I said in my last video, I would work out for like 2 hours 6 days out of the week, and now I give myself the weekend off and I work out for an hour. I do my running, I do my strength training exercises, and yeah, it's finished. I'm done. I'm head straight home, freaking chug some Gatorade, and I'm happy and I'm satisfied, and I feel just good. I feel like I'm taking care of myself. I don't feel like I'm putting too much pressure on myself to lose X amount of weight. I don't count how much I've lost or anything. I don't even know what my weight is right now because I don't want to slip into unhealthy habits. I want this to be me taking care of myself and making it a healthy habit for myself and just a way of life, and appreciating it and loving it, and just knowing every day like I'm doing the best that I can, and that's all I can do. And that has been incredible for me. When it comes to my diet, I eat a lot of just brown rice, avocados, black beans. I eat a lot of kale. I eat a lot of peppers, like red peppers, green peppers, orange, yellow peppers. I do chicken, like chicken breast or chicken breast tenders. I'll do turkey meat, ground turkey meat. And I'll do different things with that. A lot of fruit, bananas and pineapple, and I have pineapple in the fridge. I'm gonna eat some tonight. But pineapple, strawberries, blueberries. I do oatmeal. I do if I ever do bread, I do like the thin sandwich thins that are like the whole grain or whole wheat or whatever. I'll eat eggs as well. I try to not do so much processed sugar. I do cheat on the weekends. I will actually choose one cheat meal, and I'll have that motivate me to not eat so bad during the week and not have as much sugar during the week, so that I can have that one thing. I'm like, oh, and it's gotta be good. I made a cookie skillet the other day. Girl, chocolate chip cookie skillet. Okay, it was so good. Oof, yeah. What did I have this past weekend? I cheated a little bit more than I should have. I had pizza, and then I had, what else did I have? The cookie pan thing. And then I had I had toaster strudels. I had 2 toaster strudels because I bought them. I don't want to limit myself to anything. I don't want to feel guilty about things, but I also want to eat things in moderation and just be responsible and be an adult. What's one makeup fashion trend you participate in that you look back on and cringe? Okay, the makeup trend that I look back and cringe on, oh god, I just look at so many of my old videos and I'm like, what the frick? Okay, oh my god, I did this like New Year's Eve glitter inspired video, and the makeup was so bad. I'm like, how did I in my mind think this is a good idea? How did I think this is good enough to record and actually upload it? I edited that video And I thought, this is good. This is really good. I love this makeup look. It was terrible. I look like a raccoon with glitter all over my eyes. It was so bad. Oh God. Oh my God, there was one point where I bronzed the heck out of my face so bad. Why? Because I was watching at the time The Infamous, and this girl, like, her makeup is always on point. Like, she rocks it, and she's very extra, and I think she owns that very well. But her makeup was just like super, this was before the whole baking and contouring and all that drag style makeup came into play on Instagram. But she was on YouTube at the time only, because that's what we had, it was only YouTube. And she would bronze her cheeks, like cut it and just like pack on that bronzer. Now mind you, she's a much darker skinned woman than I am. I have a fake tan on today, so this doesn't show what my natural skin color, but I'm like almost as white as this thing. So I was like, I'm gonna put on like bronzer like that too. I want to be just like Time. So I would take bronzer, not matte bronzer, but bronzer with shimmer in it, and I would carve out my cheeks and just like go ham. I shouldn't say ham because that stands for bad words, but I would just go hard, like hard on that bronzer, and I was just like, this looks so good. And it did not look good. Oh my God, I cringe at that whenever oh my God, I cringe. I still cringe to this day at that, and I've thought of it multiple times. So fashion trend, I would say back in like 2000, probably like not even 2000, like 98, 99, 2000, their butterflies were like a huge thing, and we would wear butterfly clips in our hair. Now legit, like butterfly, like a clip with a metal butterfly that had glitter all over it, and then like it would kind of like move around and flap its wings whenever you would like move. Oh my God, so we'd wear that, and then like butterfly glittered bell bottoms, because bell bottoms were a thing. Okay, Sweet ASMR says, could you do an apartment tour or talk about your home style decor? She asked me multiple questions, so I'm gonna go question by question. I can give an apartment tour, but not fully, because I live in a 2-bedroom apartment right now, and one of my bedroom is fine, but like my makeup table, girl, it is on steroids right now, and I'm just trying to find a way as to how to organize it. So when I get that whole situation fixed, I can do, you know, a whole apartment. I can do like my living room and my kitchen, my bathroom. That's it. I mean, there's really not much to see. I'm a very simple person when it comes to decoration. I don't like anything crazy. I don't like anything too loud. I like all of my big furniture to be very just neutral in tone. Nothing, you know, as you can see, I have like this area rug that I got at Home Goods, and oh my God, when I saw it, I was like, I have to have you. My coffee table, my TV stand, all that is very simple. My couch is a very neutral color with white pillows. Like, I love creams and whites and tans and browns and just very, very neutral colors. And then, what do you do for work? I'm a freelance makeup artist. Things are obviously not moving very fast, so pray for me. And hopefully new things, not hopefully, there will be new things to come when it comes to just even being able to build my business and my brand and everything, and I'm really, really excited for it. What are your top favorite products in each category? What? That's a lot. Right now for foundation, I'm loving It Cosmetics. I think they have amazing foundation that ranges from light coverage to heavier coverage. I love their foundation. I use it on all of my clients, and they always look as for eyeliner, I love Makeup Forever, and I love the Urban Decay 24/7 glider, and I also love Stila's liquid eyeliner pen, And then for liquid liner, like drugstore, I do WetnWild Mega Liner since 2007 or 2008. Blush, I'm loving Makeup Geek's blush in Valentine. I'm always wearing it. I'm wearing it today. I think it's a beautiful pink color, and it shows up on tan skin tones. I wouldn't say probably very dark skin tones. And for lip products, I have right here Revlon Lip Kiss Cushion. I have a whole products video, favorite products right now video that I uploaded. So if you haven't seen it, you watch it. These NYX Butter Gloss lip glosses, NYX Butter Gloss in Praline. Whew, girl, I have it on, and it is such a pretty color. Oh my gosh, it looks great on light skin tones and darker skin tones. But this is what I have on my gloss, Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the color Universal Earth, which looks like that. And then I have some of this on. Cassidy Veru. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to pronounce that. Cassidy. Okay, let's just call you Cassidy. Cassidy, hi Cassidy. She asked, how do you embrace patience in a season of waiting, specifically waiting for a relationship? I think patience is definitely something that doesn't come easily. It doesn't come overnight. It is a fruit, right? And fruit doesn't grow overnight. Fruit, it takes time. I think when it comes to being in the waiting, people want to rush the waiting so much, and I've gone through times where I really wanted to rush it and be like, I'm ready now, I'm ready now. And I'm glad that it never happened then, because I realized later on that, ooh, I wasn't ready then. And the waiting season is such a great season to know who you are, like as a woman, and you can find out more about yourself, find out the things that you like and things that you don't like. What do you want to do with your life? What is your passion? What are your dreams? What do you really want out of life? Being in a relationship is a really big responsibility. It's not an easy thing. It's not about, you know, having someone to keep you company so that you're not lonely, having someone to, you know, say sweet things to you so that you feel affirmed and good about yourself and beautiful. Like, all those things can be achieved by yourself. All those things you can receive through God, because He is the one who affirms us. He is the one who encourages us at the end of the day, because nobody else can encourage us and affirm us the way that God can. Nobody can love us as much as He can love us. You have to learn about yourself and find out who you are as a woman. Ask God to help build your character as a woman too, because you know, the season of like getting married and having kids, like that is going to change your entire world. If you think being single is a challenge, honey, being married with someone, like you are legit combining your lives into make one life. Do you know how hard that is? You're not going to see like eye to eye on every single thing. You're going to have arguments. You're going to have, you know, very heated discussions sometimes, or maybe just uncomfortable discussions, and it's hard to be vulnerable with somebody. Like that takes a lot to be vulnerable with something, completely like vulnerable, stripped down, like freaking naked, emotionally, mentally, physically. I mean, are you focusing just on the future and completely missing everything that is in this time now? Or are you, you know, focusing on what God has placed in front of you? My friend Janet, and I would always say every time, like, well, it's one step closer. Anytime anything like fell through with a guy that we were talking to or we had a crush on, we would always tell each other, well, you know, it's just one step closer. We had said it so many times that at the end of it, we'd be like, I'm so sorry for saying this, but you know I have to say it, but you know it's just one step closer. But it's the truth. Every day is one step closer. But what are you doing with your time? How are you managing your time? Are you managing your time well? Are you managing it in a very positive way? Are you doing it in a productive way? And that's what I've been doing. I've been focusing on my work. I've been focusing on, you know, what I'm doing at my church, learning as a leader at my church. God has been developing me as a leader in leading women, in leading even children's ministry, and going to missions trips, because I'm like, this is where God is pulling me. Every single area of my life is because I've allowed God to pull me into that area and to grow me. And it's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to be patient in the waiting, but it's much harder to be patient in the waiting when you're just sitting there waiting for it to happen. When you're always wondering, why isn't it this year? You have to let it go and just give it to God. And if you don't believe in God, just know that everything around you is going to help bring you to that person, and everything will work together to bring you to that person, as long as you're walking on the right path, you know, and you're not slipping into old unhealthy habits or old unhealthy relationships or settling for less than. You know, as women, we know when something is off. We know when there are red flags. What I'm saying is, like, it's so much easier to be in the waiting season by yourself with God, focusing on your happiness, focusing on what you're doing in this life and what you're pouring out into your community, into your job community, into your church community, into your neighborhood, into different parts of the world, whatever it may be, rather than if you're just constantly trying to think of, like, how am I going to meet him? Where is he going to be? Is it him? Is it him? Maybe that's him. Just chill and do you, girl. And that is what I've been doing, like, just doing me. That's it. Like, me and God, he has been by my side this whole time. He's brought amazing people into my life. He's doing things now that is just like amazing. And yeah, that's it. Time management and focus. What are you focusing on? How are you managing your time? Those are the two things you have to ask yourself every single day. 10 Michelle M asks, when it comes to dating, do you consider yourself picky or waiting for the right one? Dang, y'all, there's a lot of dating questions and single questions. I feel like, I don't know, my wheels are turning, and I don't know if you guys would be open to doing like Bible studies on singleness on like YouTube Live or something. So when it comes to dating, do you consider yourself picky or waiting for the right one? I think that when it comes to dating, I think it's okay to have standards, right? So standards as to what his character is like. You want a man who is honest, a man who is loyal, respectful, a man who honors you, a man who loves you, who's passionate for you, who has the same goals, who encourages you to be better, who speaks into your life, who is always encouraging you and not bringing you down. 2017, I said, God, I do not want to move through, you know, any will of my own. I want to make sure that I'm not being led by my emotions and my heart, because my heart is very foolish. I want to be led by your spirit. Like, I want you to highlight this person. I want you to give it a green light. I want you to say, this is it, and I want to move then. And from that day, I had made a vow. I'm like, I'm not going to entertain anything. I'm not going to do it for my sake, and I'm not going to do it for that person's sake. You know, I'm not going to do it because I feel lonely and it'd be nice to have a company. I'm not going to do that because it's not fair to that other person, knowing very well like that I don't really see anything with them. What I've done is I've submitted it to God time and time and again, through prayer, through reading his word, to being still, to being quiet, to just waiting on his timing. And that has been very, very difficult at times, but I will say now that I know that now it's paying off so much, and I feel so much peace, so much confirmation, so much affirmation from God, so much joy, so much hope, so much love, like all of that. I'm just like, I'm reaping everything that I've sown into my single season. I'm starting to see it pay off now, and I have to say, like, it is worth the wait. It is worth waiting on his timing. P. Midi to Luke asks, what helps you stay grounded and calm when life becomes overwhelming? My God. I know this is a lot about God, and sorry, it's getting super dark here. God, number one, my family, my close friends, my church community, all of that helps me stay grounded and calm when life becomes overwhelming. I know God is always there, and His Word is always there, and so I always turn to my Bible to comfort me. I always turn to prayer. I always turn to worship music because it helps calm me down. God says to be still and know that I am God, knowing that He is much bigger than anything in my life that feels like it's crumbling, anything in my life that feels like it's changing and shifting. I don't know where it's going, or I don't know what's happening. I don't know what the next thing is. In the midst of everything that's happening in this world now, God has been my stability. He is what's kept me staying joyful, fruitful, faithful, and hopeful. And then the last question is by Mari Bree 11. She asked, have you ever felt really down and have negative thoughts? How do you deal with it? Yes. I totally have negative thoughts and have felt really down. Recognize and acknowledge and categorize where the thoughts are coming from. Are they thoughts that you have thought of yourself, that you continue to say to yourself over and over and over again? Are they voices from the past? Maybe people who used to bully me, or who my mother, or things that maybe my mother had said, or maybe teachers have said or done to me, or anything like that. Has it been something that kids have just said to me? Like, what are these voices? Are they, is it forms of discouragement that I feel like is coming from the enemy? That is just like, you're never gonna be able to succeed in this, you're never gonna get that, you're never gonna be this. I think in acknowledging and distinguishing where those voices come from, I can really choose to sort of, in a way, overturn them by speaking what God has said over me. And so last year in journaling, I did one thing that I never ever have done before. And what I did was write declarations over myself for every negative, bad thought that I ever had about myself, whether it was in that year or ones that I have thought of over and over again my whole life. I wrote down what God says about me. So I'll give you an example. One thing that I've always been told and always have felt very insecure about is I'm too quiet, and I'm too shy, and I'm too soft-spoken. I think because of that, what it's done, it created this barrier for me where I didn't see myself as powerful, I didn't see myself as influential, I didn't see myself as a leader in this world. I would say then, my voice is powerful. My voice is worthy to be heard. And then I would go on to the next thing. It's okay to have a negative feeling. It's okay to feel down. It's okay to acknowledge your emotions. And I do acknowledge my emotions. When I'm sad, I'm sad. When I'm mad, I'm mad. When I feel lonely, I feel lonely. The thing is to not allow yourself to be so consumed by it that it just keeps you down. You have to acknowledge the thoughts. You have to know where they come from, because then there's a point of healing. Then you can give it to God. So if it comes from, say, a bad relationship with your father or your mother, or something that they said, you can give that moment to God, because you can actually acknowledge it. And then He then can actually heal you from it. And that is such a beautiful thing, and it's something that I never realized I could do. That's it. It's really dark out now. It's past 8 o'clock, and that means that I need to stop this video. But thank you to all those that watched, all those that asked me questions. You guys are amazing. You asked the most incredible questions ever, and I'm here for you. If you ever need prayer or anything, please let me know. You can DM me on Instagram or message me here on YouTube, whatever it may be. Yeah, I love you, and I hope you have a great day or night whenever it is that you watch this. Bye!